So Trevor Zegras got traded today. And I know what you might be thinking. Okay, Lego, where is the Streamlabs? Why are you making this video with the normal audio commentary behind the gameplay and not actually looking at it through the stats and everything? And the reason I wanted to talk about this topic like this is because I think this trade is actually really bad. For everybody involved here, man. I think this trade actually is a disaster. And I want to tell you why. So Zegras, Anaheim guy, 2019 top 10 draft pick, gets traded to the Philadelphia Flyers for Ryan Poehling, the 45th overall pick this year, and the 4th round pick next year. And I know a lot of folks are going to go out there and say, wow, what amazing value. The Philadelphia Flyers got Zegras for cheap. The Anaheim Ducks just got fleeced. Ryan Poehling, not that impressive. 45th overall pick, not that impressive. 4th round pick next year, absolutely not impressive. But here's the thing about that. Yeah, Trevor Zegras, his value has declined tremendously over the past few years. This season, Zegras wasn't that bad. I mean, he had 32 points in 57 games. Okay, that's not great. He had 65 points in 81 games 2 years ago. He has experienced a decline in point production and a decline in games played due to his health status over the past year and a bit. But after what was reported in Anaheim, that the Ducks were going through this entire identity reform, Pat Verbeek wants these hard-nosed, hard-to-play against, physical guys, the guys that are hard to shove off of the puck and that can play that more gritty Pat Verbeek-style hockey game. The Isaac Lundestroms, the Cutter Gauchiers, the Mason McTavishes, that guy's a dog. Leo Carlson getting up in here. And to an extent, you know, Ryan Poehling can play with some snarl too. Poehling is a decent player. I mean, he had 31 points in 68 games this most recent season himself. But the thing is, it's true that Trevor Zegras, his value has gone down tremendously from 2 years ago until now. And it's true that the Anaheim Ducks are definitely not getting value in return for Zegras that a lot of us thought they would. When Trevor Zegras trade rumors started out 2 years ago, it's like, oh, he's going to get a first, he's going to get a prospect, he's going to get a roster player. He's a 60-point guy who's only, what was he at the time when he scored those points? He was only like 21 years old. A lot of people saw value in that. He didn't get much value in return. And the problem I have with this is that Trevor Zegras, not only does he get so little in exchange for Anaheim, but he's going to freaking Philadelphia. Bro, are you kidding me? We had already made a bunch of satirical poking the bear type comments over the past few weeks on how Rick Tocchet is going to ruin Matvei Mishkov with the way that he's going to force that guy to dump and chase and stop being skilled and stop trying to do Michigans. You thought John Tortorella didn't like that kind of style? Didn't like that sort of flair and flash? Oh, you haven't seen Rick Tocchet, baby. I'm going to go out there and say that, like, this is the worst possible fit for Trevor Zegras in terms of the skill set of the player and the coaching staff that's going to be managing that. I would not be surprised if Trevor Zegras gets traded sometime next year. Again, it just doesn't seem like a fit that makes sense here. And I'm thinking about all the other skilled guys who were in Vancouver that definitely did not excel under Rick Tocchet. Oh, Niels Höglander had a 20-goal season. Yeah, he's like the exception to the rule. Everything that guy was shooting towards the goal at even strength was going in. But look at all the other more skilled guys that Rick Tocchet had that it just didn't work out with. You have Andrei Kuzmenko. High skill, high flair, dump and chase. Nah, you're not going to go out there and do your fancy deeks. You're going to dump it and you're going to chase it. And you're not going to look good doing it. So we're going to demote you, and then we're going to trade you because the GM listens to everything I say. Maybe not too great of an example, but look at Daniel Sprong. A lot more of a pure skill guy who can snipe it, who can get the wheels and who can get going and who can make some really beautiful plays, but his defensive game sucked. And Rick Tocchet called Sprong on the phone before he had signed in Vancouver, and Sprong expressed desire to improve in that department. Yeah, I want to become better. I want to have this defensive game. I want to develop. And he scored the first goal of the Canucks 24-25 season. Guess what? That guy was shipped out to Seattle within a few weeks. It didn't fit, and Rick Tocchet's style absolutely did no favors for a guy like Daniel Sprong, even though he wanted to improve. Look at Elias Pettersson. That guy was excelling like crazy for the first little bit under Tocchet, but then after he got the knee tendonitis and after he got all the pressure with the contract, things just did not work out. And then we saw the season that was here. Players that excel under Rick Tocchet are more that hard-nosed, middle-depth guys who have energy, who have physicality, that are not afraid to play a pure north-south dump-and-chase type game. Like, all the middle and bottom six players in Vancouver, they, to an extent, excelled under Tocchet. Garland, Joshua, O'Connor, the guys that excelled the most were the players that can do both, who could have a skill game, but could also play that hard-to-play-against, rough, tough, in-your-face type of style, like JT Miller. Rick Tocchet is absolutely going to coach out the skill and flair that makes Trevor Zegras Trevor Zegras. You thought Pat Verbeek wasn't a fan of what Zegras' skill set is? Oh, Rick Tocchet's going to be even worse. There's no way this is going to end well. And I'll put my hat in the ring there. If Trevor Zegras becomes a 70-point guy, if he plays with Matvei Michkov, they're doing, like, part 2 of the Zegras flip out in front of the goal, the Sonny Milano lacrosse pass type thing. If Michkov and Zegras are doing that together, and Rick Tocchet allows that, and these guys both inevitably become franchise flyers long-term, then I will 1,000,000% say that I'm wrong. But the way that I'm looking at this trade right now, this is absolutely disastrous for Trevor Zegras, the player, to go to a team whose coaching staff is run by that guy. They just gave him a 5-year contract. They really believe in the Tocchet system and the Tocchet style and the Tocchet way. Michkov already was a pretty big deal, I think, in terms of the Tocchet discourse. Now you got Zegras too. Not only did the Anaheim Ducks lose value on this player by trading him now, they could have gotten a lot more for him 2 years ago, but then again, they weren't wanting to trade him 2 years ago. It's a disaster for Anaheim. They lose value on their guy. They turn a 9th overall pick into Ryan Poehling, a 45th overall pick, and a 4th. It's a bad trade for Philly because I don't think this is going to work out for them, even though they're getting Zegras for a lot of value. And now you have all these other NHL fan bases saying, like, oh, it's just Poehling, the 45th overall pick, and a 4th. Poehling a 2nd and a 4th. Why could we not have done that? And now I'm thinking about it like, yeah, okay, his value has gotten so bad that this is where his evaluation is at. And you bring him into a system where he has probably the most difficult coaching fit out of all the NHL teams out there. You needed a Bruce Boudreau-like guy to coach Trevor Zegras. You need somebody who's a little bit more players first and who's a little bit more happy-go-lucky. I get that that coaching archetype doesn't really exist much in the National Hockey League nowadays, but it's a certain type of coach that allows skilled players to play skilled. And Rick Tocchet absolutely is not that, and I think this trade is not good for that reason, so I want you to let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Trevor Zegras has just gotten traded to the Philadelphia Flyers for Ryan Poehling, the 45th overall pick this year, and a 4th round pick next year. What do you think about this trade? Let me know in the comments all your opinions. I hope you enjoyed this video. Sign on, and bye.